Hello guys, Lid here. So this is Gemling Ravenflogs, and of all the ascendancy that I try for Ravenflogs, Lich is always my favorite because it just fits really well. The Explode give a really good clear, and the Unholy might make the single target DPS pretty decent. But Gemling I think will be on par with that, and this build is not built the same way as the Lich because you obviously cannot just use a Ravenflogs because there's nothing on the ascendancy that actually boosts the Ravenflog except for the +2 skill. So the setup is a little bit different, and this setup made more for comfort. So it have 0 buttons. It's also pretty fast, and the single target actually pretty good too without have to use like Archon buff and all that stuff. So this setup doesn't use Archon buff, and you still can use Archon. I just don't want to because I had enough of it. So this setup on Gemling is lean very hard on Advent Thaumaturgy. And at this point, I think everyone already know Advent Thaumaturgy is a new ascendancy node for Gemling, and it gives alternate quality for every skill gem. And this alternate quality on some skill is really nuts, and it's really strong. So let's begin from there. The first thing is Withering Presence. Normally, if you see Withering Presence, it's usually apply a Wither stack every like 1.3 to 1.4 seconds. In Gemling, the Withering Presence apply the Wither stack every 0.25 seconds, meaning you have 4 stack in a second. This is really nuts. I don't even know if you can reach the number before. So the alternate quality on the Withering stack is really nuts. And this is also the reason why if you play this setup, you're going to feel like you have more DPS. You actually not really have more DPS than Lich. It's just your damage ramp faster because you can stack the Wither faster. And Wither are one stat that we are trying to scale on Ravenflogs. And we can reach something like 150% chaos damage taken. So the Withering Presence because of alternate quality become really strong. And the second skill is Cast on Dodge. And alternate quality on Cast on Dodge, it gives you dodge roll distance. Every 20% quality, you get 1 meter dodge roll distance. And I'm using 2 Cast on Dodge. The first one is the skill gem itself, and the second one is from the amulet. And this basically make you pretty fast. And because you're always dodging, you're never getting heavy stun. Because we're always dodging, you rarely get hit in the first place, and most of the damage that hit me is mostly from the ground effect. So as long as you be careful with where you're dodging, you pretty much almost never get hits because you're always dodging. So Cast on Dodge is really broken on this one. And the first Cast on Dodge, I used it to cast Despair. And the reason why I'm using Despair here instead of using Blasphemy, because I can cast this Despair in like 2 to 3 dodge, which is happen really fast. And you basically just spam the area with Despair Curse Crown. So there's no need for Blasphemy, and then we can use the Spirit for something else. And I paired the Blasphemy with Doitry Undoing, and it's going to make the curse become a Curse Crown, and it will spawn bunch of frogs. And these frogs actually deal a good amount of DPS. So I paired them with Spell Cascade and also Offer Abundance because you need the +1 limit. And then I paired them with Living Lightning. And because you constantly spawn the Curse Crown, and the Curse Crown basically consistently spawning the frog, the Living Lightning in stationary fight will always be there. And this is one thing that you can also do on Lich. It's just you're not doing on Cast on Dust, but you're doing on Cast on Minion Death. Because on my Lich setup, I use Cast on Minion Death. And the second Cast on Dust, I'm using it for Dendronite Death because I'm mostly playing Expedition now. So Dendronite Death is just really good for that. And I paired them with Magnify Area and Spell Cascade and also Efficiency 2 because I don't have that much mana regen. And the last one is just Boundless Energy to get more energy so we can proc the Dendronite Death faster. And for mapping, you can use something like Spark. Combine them with Projectile Acceleration 2, and this is because the Projectile Acceleration 2 give you 40% chance to pierce an enemy. You don't really need the damage, but you need the projectile speed, and you also need the pierce. And this gem basically give both. And we can pair them with Living Lightning, and Boundless Energy and Energy Retention, and you basically just go around the maps, and you just spam bunch of Spark. And because alternate quality on Spark give you 4 projectile, and because we are stacking quality, the Spark basically fire an egg projectile. And if you see over here, every time you cast a Spark, you fire 18 projectile. This is an insane amount of projectile without any investments, right? So for mapping, I will use Spark. Expedition, I will use Dendronite Death because Dendronite Death perform better on expeditions. Now for the Dendronite Death itself, the alternate quality is conversion from the physical damage to fire damage. And there is a note on the tree, this Black Flame Covenant, which basically convert all your fire spell become a chaos spell. And this is really strong for the Dendronite Death because Dendronite Death is based on the enemy maximum life. And when you convert the fire damage into the chaos damage, now your Dendronite Death is also scaled with your Despair and also your Withering Presence. So this is something you can do. I choose not to because I don't think there's a need for it, but This is something you can do to boost the damage of the detonator even more. And the next skill that are really good with Gemling is Wolfpack. So on the Wolfpack, the alternate quality give you more minion attack speed, and this is a more multiplier. This is not increased attack speed. So because we are stacking quality, we end up having 41% more minion attack speed. So the wolf is just hit pretty hard just by that itself. So I paired them with Master, Fleeting Frenzy, Rage 3, and Unatal Embrace, and then Techrod Revenge. And the Techrod Revenge is not for the Soul Eater. I mean, it's Soul Eater is nice, but the main purpose for the Techrod Revenge is to make your minion last as long as possible. Because we don't really have any investment on minion life or minion resistance, so your minion will always going to die pretty fast. So the Technical Defense especially make the wolf pack most of the time ups. And for the Unital Embrace, you can do something else like Rapid Attack 2, that's also pretty good, because Unital Embrace is pretty expensive. But Unital Embrace also give you Armor Break, which is pretty good too. And then the rest of the skill is basically the same with Lich. We are using Cleric, Reaver, Sniper, Arsonist, Storm Mage, and Frost Mage. Of all these minions, there's a few minions that also have like a really insane dynamic quality. For examples like Arsonist. Arsonist quality give you two projectile. And because you're stacking quality now, this Arsonist basically fire 5 projectile. If I remember it correctly, because I played Arsonist before, the projectile from the Arsonist can shotgun. So this actually can hit pretty hard if you just play like a normal minions. And the second one that are pretty good too is Storm Mage. Storm Mage's alternate quality give the minion cast speed. This one I have like 60% minion cast speed. So I paired them with Master, Feeding Frenzy, Dominus Grab, so basically now it's chain 4 times, and S Radiance to make the Storm Mage more reliably shocking enemy. And the last one is with Last Scouts because we can only use one Technical Defense. But yeah, the Storm Mage, the Arsonist is really nuts. The Frost Mage is the Reservation Efficiency, so one Frost Mage for me is like 16 Reservation Spirit, which is pretty nuts. And then the Reaver and Sniper, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like Sniper alternate quality is give you like more fire damage for the explode. For me, Sniper and Reaver is not really that interesting, and the Cleric is pretty much useless because the minion reduce damage here, you always have Brutus Brain, right? And for the Raven Flock itself, we're still using Master, we're still using Hulking Minions, and Swift Affliction 2, and Minion Mastery, because there's nothing else we can use. And I also just realized that you can also use Diala Desire here. So the Diala Desire will give you +1 level, which give you more damage, and also the 5% quality is also pretty nice because it also gives you increased area of effect. So the area of effect on this one is actually pretty good, even without the Magnify area. I think the weak entropy is like 2.9 meters, so this number is pretty good. And the chaos damage per second here, without any buff, everything else is like 74k. And this is a lot more than the Leech, but this is also because there is some tech that I use here that I'm not using on Leech. And that's basically the gem, and you can see the detail on the POB or the Mobility link. And the next one, let's talk about the items. And for the items, because this is a minion build, the same with other Raven Flocks, you will need a +2 minion on your helmet, +4 minion on your amulet, and then +2 minion on your belt. And for the chest, you want as high energy shield as you can, and then spirit, and then reservation efficiency skills. And for the glove, just as much ES as possible, as much resistance as possible. And for the boots, Decree of Flight, this is one of my favorite boots, just because if you use this foot, especially you're flying, so it's just cool. I don't know, I like it. So, and it also gives you 30% faster dodge roll. So we basically dodge roll pretty fast and pretty far. And then it also gives you guard based on 20% of your missing energy shield. And this is the reason why I want to scale energy shield here. We have 9.3k, and I do not have a single energy shield node on the tree at all. I will talk about where we got the energy shield from, but 9k is pretty good for me. There is a way if you want to scale more energy shield, you can go for that. But I think 9k is more than good enough. Hit pool, you're not getting hit that much in the first place, so I think 9k is more than good enough. And for the ring, because we are not using the Mad Flight, we can use the Desecrator mod for the minion deal increased damage if you hit recently. And because we are casting constantly, you always hit with either with your Toad or with your Detonated or with your Spark. So you're always going to have the bonus from the minion increased damage when if you hit recently. So this one is 33%, and we have a minion deal 43%. So this ring alone gives me like 76 increased minion damage. And you just multiply by 2 because this one is basically copying this ring. And for the maximum quality, you probably can use something else for like you can get extra ward with the alloy. There's something you can do. And for the suffixes, just look for resistance or rarity if you can. Rarity is still pretty good. It gives you more loot basically. And for the stuff, I'm still using the same stuff. This is a level 20 stuff. I don't know why it said 19 here, because over here you can see this is level 20. This is probably a bug because they do make these item that you can use on the lower level, but the level of the skill will basically scale with your character level. So this is probably a bug, and this is basically still the same stuff I'm using on Lich. It's just the socket is a little bit different. Number one is a storm rune because we want to spawn the living lightning, and I'm using body rune here, so we get 50 maximum energy shield. And for the passive tree, this is basically what the passive tree looks like. It's just bunch of jewels, and we still take the Rod of Horrors here and also AoE here. This is because we are using Living Lightning. This basically gives you extra 2 Living Lightning, and this one is effect of the Wither Magnitude. And from the Megalomaniac, I'm using Dark Entry here, which gives you +1 Chaos Spell. This is mandatory, so you need Megalomaniac that give you at least this one, which is I think is pretty cheap. And the second node, I go for the Spiral into Depressions because this gives me movement speed and also maximum energy shield. But this one is optional. You can choose anything else that you want. And the new tech is this one. Because we are scaling energy shield, right now I have 9.3k energy shield. If I take this off, I basically only have 7.1k. And the reason why this jewel gives me that much energy shield is because of the Black Side training. One thing important about the Heroic Tragedy is you need the line of Forerunner. If you have the line of Forerunner, you will have this keystone, which basically gives you 1% energy shield plus 2 strength. So this one is really, really strong if you stacking energy shield. But this heroic jewel also gives you something else. It's going to change the notable inside this area. And one of notable that I was looking for is Fight S1. This node gives you 40% increased minion damage. The same with this one. And it also have a node that gives you maximum energy shield. In this one, this is like 4-pointer. I probably never going to take it. But if I have like something like here, this is 2-pointer, this is 2-pointer. So this spot I think is the best for the Heroic Tragedy because it has a lot of 2-pointer. This is 2-pointer, this is 2-pointer. This is 2-pointer, and this is kinda a 2-pointer, maybe 3-pointer. So it have a lot of node that you can take with very, very little point. So if you can find the one that gives you 5S1 here, or natural energy that gives you energy, that's also pretty good. The only problem with this Heroic Tragedy is there is not really a way to know what number that you need. You have to experiment with yourself. Like the way I do it, I will buy this Heroic Tragedy. I will take a note of the numbers so I don't double buy it. I just put it in here and I basically just search for the Fight S1 and also search for the energy and see how many I got. And if I got nothing, then I will sell the Heroic Tragedy back. I think that's how everyone do it. So this Heroic Tragedy basically just moving from one hand to another hand until you get something that you want. So that's basically about the Heroic Tragedy. This is really strong, and this is also something you can do on the Lich. If we are using on Lich, we don't really care about the line of Forerunner, we just want the Fight S1. And for the jewel itself, there is a 2 jewel that I recommend. The first one I think is the best in slot is the jewel that look like this. On the prefix, it has a minion damage, it have Wither Magnitude, and it also have hybrid minion damage and energy shield. 4 of this mod is really, really important for us. For the suffixes, we can go for additional strength threshold, or element threshold is pretty good too, and also meta skill gain energy. And if you don't have the strength threshold or elemental threshold, you can actually take this 5 node over here. But I like to put it on the jewel, so I basically can use this 5 point to something else. And I think you would need at least like 2 of the element threshold and 2 of the strength threshold. Ideally, you want 3. So because you're not always going to have a perfect roll, you want something like around 30 to 40% of your energy shield as a threshold. And for the meta energy, it just make you trigger your detonated, your spark, your despair a lot faster. So this is the best in slot jewel. Now there is another jewel that you can use, which is a jewel that look like this, which is a lot easier to make. Which basically minion increase damage, Wither Magnitude, and maximum energy shield. This is going to give you a lot more ES, it makes you a lot more tankier, and for the suffixes, it's the same thing. Either meta skill, or additional sun threshold, or additional elemental threshold. So there is a 2 jewel that you can go for. I like the hybrid because it also gives me damage, but this one gives you a lot of energy shield. And the only thing I'm missing on this setup is Adorn. And Adorn have a corruption modifier, where it's going to give a bonus effect to rare jewel. That is really strong, but it's also ridiculously expensive. So if you have the budget, go for that one. It's going to make the setup a lot more stronger. But in my case, I kinda running out of currency. After I spent all my currency to craft all these items, I have 2 Hinakura log, now it's gone. This character is not cheap, but it's very comfy, it's pretty fast, it's very nice. And this is the reason why I will make this like on par with Lich, even though I am a fanboy of Lich. But I have to say the Gemling with the new rework from the Advent Thaumaturge, this one is really good. It just makes the Ascendancy a lot more interesting to play. That's it for the Ravenflock Gemling. And as usual, if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comment below. I will try my best to answer it. And if you have more ideas, same thing, leave in the comment. And I think there is someone on my comment on my last video talking about Oracle, and I think Oracle can be a really good contender for this because of this Heroic Tragedy on Forana. This gives you a lot of minion increase damage. So if you have suggestions, don't be shy, just share it in the comment below. I'm basically exploring the skill. I don't know everything about this build. Like every time I make a new character with this build, there's always something new I learned. And this video probably will be maybe the last video for Path of Exile 2 for now, because the new league for Path of Exile 1 will start at the end of this month. So I will have to start prepping for that. But after that, I will come back for the reset. I'm very excited for the reset. I still constantly play PoE2 until this point. So I will come back when the reset. But for now, I have to prep for the PoE1 for the new league coming. So thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.